across the length and breadth of the country. We partner with the Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation. They are an incubator in the seed fund scheme, and very happy to see that the efforts being put in here to develop a vibrant ecosystem. Students are learning about what it takes to be a founder and how they can contribute to nation building. So one easy question: all of your students, have any of you ever had a thought of going into entrepreneurship, becoming a founder, starting a business? Just a show of hands would be good. Great. So I see a few hands. Our job is to make sure that the number of hands increases, any guidance that you need increases, and we have a good system so that there is support anywhere you are, be it Bangalore, be it Chennai, be it here. You have what you need to succeed in your entrepreneurship journey. So today I am going to be talking about the Startup India initiative from the Ministry of Commerce, how the journey has been, how we look to help startups or would-be entrepreneurs, and how you can also benefit and participate from the scheme. Post that, I'll be getting into detail on the Startup India Seed Fund scheme, which is our flagship program to help innovators who are building prototypes, who need initial grant to build an innovation into a commercial product, and how you can work with that, take benefits of that, to make sure that something that you think of can be brought into reality. One thing that we focus on is the journey that we have had so far. This is an upcoming district when it comes to startup ecosystem. So I'll be sharing the history of the Startup India initiative with you as well. And you can see how fast the ecosystem grows once a few people start taking initiative. That is one reason that we are very happy that our partner Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation is doing these type of events, raising awareness so that more and more people can come into entrepreneurship. Yes, next slide please. So little bit of a history. I will not take up too much time, but what was the idea behind the Startup India initiative? What we do to support it, and what areas we look at supporting startups in. So Startup India initiative was born in 2016. On January 16, 2016, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, he laid out a vision. And he said that I see startups as an exciting instrument for the nation's transformation. They should be a vital part of our economy as well. And he took a review of the ecosystem in the country, and he laid out 19 action points and 3 pillars of support that needs to be provided to every student, every entrepreneur, everybody who thinks of building a business in India. So today we commemorate 16th January 2016 as the National Startup Day. We do a bunch of events during that week. We call it the Innovation Week. Startups from across the country, innovators from across the country come over to Delhi, and we have a few big events. So this is where we are at in terms of the startup ecosystem in the country right now. Today we are the 3rd largest ecosystem in the world. We have more than 1,15,000 startups. This number has gone up further because we have hundreds of new registrations every day. 51% of our startups are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, which was again a mandate that innovation doesn't just lie in Bangalore, it's across the country. We need to harness that. 11 jobs are created by every startup on an average. So these 1,17,000 startups have created more than 10 lakh jobs in the country today. And we are also trying to connect with all the enablers, so mentors, incubators, accelerators, they are all a part of the ecosystem. Startup India Hub tries to bring all of them together in one place. And we have more than 680,000 registered users on the Startup India Hub. I talk more about this as well, and how you guys can also participate in the same. So that has been the journey of the work that we have done. Between 2015, before we had a dedicated policy by the government for startups, to today, in 7 short years, here's how the journey has been. So the number of startups that the government recognized, that number has gone up from 4,000 to over 1,17,000. The number of districts which had startups in the country, that has gone up from 120 to over 670 plus districts. States, so all of you must have also heard of Startup TN, which is the state startup policy of Tamil Nadu. we work with all states so that now almost every state and unit territory in the country has its own startup policy, which is in addition to whatever the central government is doing. The number of unicorns in the country has increased by more than 10x. In 2015, we had about 8 or so unicorns. Today, the number is 112. Funding. So, the funds pumped into Indian startups from external sources, from internal sources, the total amount of funding received by Indian startups, which was at $8 billion in 2015, that is now crossed $100 billion. And again, as you mentioned, the number of jobs created has gone up thousands to, I guess, tens of lakhs. So that is how the journey has been. And our idea is to make sure that this kind of journey is available across every region, every district in the country, which is again why events like these are important, to show if you want to take this challenge, if you want to take this step into entrepreneurship, all the support that is available for you. So, as Startup India, we are your partners in the government. For any entrepreneurs, we are their sort of connect to the government, partners in the government. We watch for policies that might help startups. So these are the key areas that we work in. One is funding support, which is I think lifeblood of any startup. When you are starting out, when you are working on a new idea, you need money to sustain, you need money to grow, bring the innovation to the market. We extensively work on that through multiple channels. Providing access to markets. So if you want to, if you have an innovation that might be helpful to government, that would be helpful to a ministry, how do you have that connect? If you have an innovation that might be useful to a corporate, that can give you orders, how do you connect with them? We work on all these things as well. Working on global market access, taking your product outside India. We have made tie-ups with startup nodal agencies across countries, and we help take innovative products from India to the globe through events, global events, through our partnerships, etc. Finally, we have a lot of programs for building awareness, creating the culture of entrepreneurship in the country. I'll discuss more on these as well, but what we aim to do here is something like what I'm doing today. Talk to people who are prospective entrepreneurs and make sure that they know that these agencies, these facilities, these opportunities are available for them to take care of. So now I'll talk about what the role of the government is, the vision that the government sees, their role in making sure that startups have a good shot of succeeding. So these are the few things that we have been given a mandate to work on across different pillars. The first is recognizing startups. If you are starting a new business, if you are starting a new innovative operation, how do we make sure that you are recognized as a startup, which helps you avail all the other benefits? So we have set up a very few simple criteria to make sure we can define what a startup is. So any recognized entity, be it a limited liability partnership, be it a partnership, be it a private limited company, which is less than 10 years old and has not exceeded 100 crores in revenue, may be recognized as a startup. The process for getting recognition is again very simple. It's an online process. You just need to fill out a form, upload a few documents, and then you get the certificate of recognition over blockchain, which helps you then utilize that recognition across different agencies, across different programs to take benefits. So key benefits that a startup can get by registering with DPIIT is you get preference in government procurement. Let's say government releases a tender that you have an innovative product that can participate in. So you don't have to submit any EMD, you don't have to have prior experience turnover, which allows our startups to compete with big companies when it comes to government procurement. We work on helping them and get patents, connecting them with patent lawyers at discounted prices to make sure that if you have done an innovation, your innovation is protected in India and across the world. So we do provide IP assistance. A lot of our incubators have brought startups who have developed novel technologies, and we connected them to IP lawyers to make sure that they have IP protection. Tax benefits. So there is a Section 80 IAC in the income tax, which was launched a couple of years ago, which provides a complete tax holiday to a startup that is working on an innovative product. So in your 10 years, across any 3 years, you can get complete exemption from all income tax, which is a very big boost to any startup building a new business and looking to compete or enter a market. We have also started working on making sure that the number of compliances that a startup needs to do is reduced. If you are setting up a manufacturing unit, if you're setting up a plant, if you're setting up anything that requires clearance from ministry, environmental ministry, labor ministry, we are working on reducing these compliance so that you can focus on building a business at a young stage rather than getting involved with all these processes which take up your time and resources. And I think the most important part is funding support. I'll try to explain this more in detail over the later course of this presentation. But startups at different stages of their life cycle have different requirements of what sort of funding they need, what sort of instruments they need. And we are now trying to cover the entire life cycle of a startup to make sure that lack of funds is not a reason that an innovative product cannot be in the market. So this is what we do for startups across the life cycle. So ideation, today a few people raised their hands when I said they have thought about entrepreneurship. So they are in the ideation stage, okay, there is something that I can do. To validation, I built a prototype, I showed it to a few prospective customers and they liked it. That means there is a business in here to work on. To early traction, I came to the market, I have started generating revenue, I am getting good reviews from my customers. And to growth, which is again your unicorn stories, big companies which have developed a product market fit, who are growing at an exponential rate. So we work across parameters for all these startups in different stages. So let's say you're in ideation. We help you get recognition so that you can take benefits of different government schemes. We have an idea bank. In case you say, I want to become an entrepreneur, but I don't have a good enough problem to work on. We started collating idea bank of good ideas from across the universities in the country of students have suggested that, hey, this is a product that might be developed and anybody can use it for free. We work with seed funding. So if you have an idea, but you don't have money to develop a prototype, you don't have money to take your innovation to the market, we provide that initial seed funding support with the help of our partner incubators. We provide hand-holding support. Let's say you're working on blockchain, for example. You don't have any mentor in your community to help you with it. You need certain guidance from experts. So we've started platforms where we can connect you with experts so that again that is not a roadblock for you. Similarly, for startups in the validation stage that have developed an innovation, that have developed a product, we work on L&D, learning and development programs to make sure that they can commercialize it. We work on creating better incubators across the country so that you have some place to go and do business in, get guidance, get facilities. We work on getting you pro bono services. So one thing that a lot of new startups come to us and ask is that we want to work, but we don't have server space. Compute is very expensive, especially in IoT, in machine learning. So we've tied up with a few resource partners who help our startups on a pro bono basis. And I think the biggest use is that we provide free AWS credits to new startups, which is I think the most used resource. But across, apart from that, we have free resources for IP lawyer, patent granting, free resources for environmental clearances, free resources for let's say CRM software which you can use to manage your business. And all of this is again available for free to recognized startups. In growth stage, you have a product, you're in the market, you're generating business. How to take that into a big success, make it a unicorn, make it into crores of revenue. So we help connect these startups with venture capital fundings. We help unlock international market access to them. We help them with recognition, getting facilitation through programs like National Startup Awards, which is again a flagship program of the startup industry. So all the things that I talked about, there are 50 different things that we are working on with many multiple stakeholders. There's government, there's ecosystem participants, there's mentors, there's students, there's startups. How do you find what is going on, what is the latest opportunity available? So there is one central platform, Startup India portal, where every detail that I'm talking about today, how do you apply, what do you do, what are the opportunities, is available and everybody can register. So what we try to do here is we are building an ecosystem registry so that anybody who wants any help from the startup ecosystem in the country, you're sitting in Tamil Nadu, maybe you want to connect with an expert who's based out of Maharashtra, how do you reach out to them? All of that is being built here, and this is seeing massive traction and growth. So we have around 7 lakh registered users now, and the mandate from the ministry is also clear. We have to make ourselves the biggest startup ecosystem in the country, and we are working to make sure that anybody doing any work in the startup space for the benefit of startups, as a mentor, as an entrepreneur, gets registered here so that anybody who needs help can easily find them and reach out to them. So this again is a program that is very close to my heart. This is MARC, the National Mentorship Portal. So let's say you have an idea, but you don't know what to do next, how to commercialize it, how to start a business, how to market your product. What we have done is we spoke to industry leaders, corporates, people who have vast experience, and asked them to volunteer to become mentors to our startups in early stages and growth stages. So what we have here is more than 1,500 industry professionals with more than 10 years of work experience on an average who have volunteered to help startups on a pro bono basis. Now, one question that you might ask is 1,500, how do I know who's the right mentor for me? So to solve that, again, we have used some algorithms where we ask you, what is the product you're working on, what is the industry that you're working on, what stage your startup is in, what do you need help with? And based on that, we give you a list of mentors that you can connect with and get help on your entrepreneurship journey. So this platform is, it's only 1 year old, but it's seen very good traction. Today we have delivered more than 8,000 hours of mentorship in this year alone, verified. Through these mentors, each of whose profile is verified by us, who work with startups on a completely pro bono basis without any interest. So anybody thinking of entrepreneurship should definitely explore. The platform is called MARC, and it's available at marc.startupindia.gov.in. Okay, now I think this is the key thing that everybody wants to hear, funding support. If you have an idea, you want to work, how to get funds. So as I spoke about, now we are targeting to do this on a more broader level. So covering needs of startups at every different stage. How we are trying to achieve that is we have divided startups into what they need at which stage and try to meet that gap with the program. So these are our flagship initiatives. One is the Fund of Funds scheme, Startup India Fund of Funds schemes, which has been created with the outlay of 10,000 crores from the government. And the idea here is to make sure startups in the growth stage who have achieved a product market fit, who are generating revenue, are getting love from the customers, can get access to funds for the next stage of their growth. Then we have the Startup India Seed Fund scheme, which is for very early stage startups who are in the ideation stage or prototype development stage, who have a good idea but need a push to get that into the market or a commercial space. This scheme has been again developed with an outlay of around 945 crores, where we give funds to startups through incubators and in form of grants and easy debt terms. Let's say you have a startup that is growing, you have a business, but you don't want to sell equity, you want to save. You get a very big order and now you don't have working capital. So again, we have worked with top lending institutions in the country to launch the credit guarantee scheme, where loans are given by banks based on the merit of the startup, but no collateral is required. That collateral is guaranteed by BPI. Again, another platform, if you think that I need big investors, I need more connects, another thing that we launched 6 months back is the Investor Connect platform, where we are inviting VCs from around the globe to come launch opportunities and discover Indian startups. So one problem that we always faced with VCs was, how do I discover a good startup in my niche? I'm working in AI, in the agriculture sector, and I want a startup that is in the growth phase. How do I do it? So what we allow them to do here is launch opportunities, asking that I want such startups who are working in these fields to connect with me, share their pitch decks, and you want to see how to get to the market. If you have a tough customer, you want to crack the railways, defense ministry, made an innovation for them, how do you do that? If you have an innovation that might be used by a large corporation, how do you reach out to them? So that is where our programs for providing market access come into the picture. So the biggest thing that we are doing here is providing access to government departments who make purchases. We are working with them to make sure that you get certain relaxations. So if you want to participate in a railway tender, let's say you develop something that might be very useful for the railways, but when they launch a tender, it's a very huge order. So they have certain requirements for providing guarantees, providing proof of prior experience that you have done work with government agencies before, proof of prior turnover that you're large enough to fulfill such a big order. So we have worked with the government to make sure that recognized startups get exemptions from all these things so that they can stand with the big companies, they can participate in tenders, compete with them on a level ground. Another thing we do is, if you have a truly innovative product and you think that even the buyers do not know what this product can do for them at this point of time, we have created a separate page. So all government procurement is done through the government e-marketplace, which is a centralized portal. We have created a separate page for Startup Runway there, where true innovations can be seen, they can experience it and see how it might help in their department. So this we've been working on this for more than 4 years. Today, 22,000 startups have availed benefits of this on the GEM platform, and they have delivered orders of worth more than 20,000 crores to the government using these exemptions. Let's say you have a very specific product that is only for a ministry, they don't even know they need it yet. We can connect them to you, we can help them if they have any challenge that they are looking for help with. We help them launch those challenges to startups who can find the right customers, right places to do pilot projects. So all these ministries we've already partnered with at some point of time in the past 5 years, and a lot more is in the pipeline. So if you visit the Startup India Hub, which is the Startup India website, you'll constantly see new ministries rolling out challenges on what can be done by startups for them. So another thing that we are working on is providing access to global markets. So there are a lot of products in India, Indian handicrafts, Indian agriculture products, Indian innovations in low-cost tech that have a huge market in the global space. So we work to make sure that you have access to those buyers, you have access to that ecosystem as well. And how we do that is in a couple of ways. We have ties with more than 500 top corporates in the country who have offices there, who have business already there, which can help take your products there. They can help you solve their own problems as well. They regularly come up to us with problem statements, looking for startups that can help them solve their own problem statement. And then, if you really want to launch in a different country with on your own without any support, we have built bridges with these countries. What a bridge means is that we relax norms for our startups to go there and their startups to come to our country. So with these, I guess 21 countries, the latest being Saudi Arabia, we have formed official agreements and formed startup bridges to allow easy access to their markets. We do other international engagements with the countries in the second row, where we have some sort of formal association with them and we can connect you to the right people. And then we also have international engagements. So we work on a global policy level to make sure that startups across the world, our startups find it easy to access other markets even if those countries are not formally working with us. So in the G20 event, one Startup 20 working group was pitched by India. The idea was so well liked and so appreciated that it has now become a permanent working group within the G20 countries. And now we are helping Brazil, who's hosting next year's G20, to actually continue the Startup 20 event going forward. Apart from that, we also take our startups to global international exhibitions, showcases. So Expo 2020 Dubai had an India pavilion. We had a separate section for our startups with innovations. We go to the World Economic, sort of take experts to those states, gather entrepreneurs, incubators from those states, and help them, train them to take it to the next level. We are working extensively. We have a separate team for women entrepreneurs to make sure that they have what needs they have are met, to make sure that they are able to connect with other mentors, other women entrepreneurs that they can look up to, learn from, to ensure that we have a vibrant women entrepreneur ecosystem also in the country. And then apart from that, these are like quite a few events that we do on an annual basis. There's the National Startup Awards, there's Startup Yatra, where we go to every district in the country to talk about what innovation is, how to set up a company. We have state startup ranking to make sure that every state tries to compete with each other in terms of building the best policy for startups. We have the National Startup Awards, we have the Innovation Week in January, where we again try to bring the entire ecosystem together, build some networks, ensure that good ideas come forward. So I guess that is what the Startup India initiative is, what we have been doing so far, all avenues of benefits that are available to you anytime you think of taking the journey of entrepreneurship. If you can just scan this QR code, all the details, access to the website, everything will be available in case anybody is interested. Now I'm going to be talking about specifically the seed fund scheme, again, which is why I'm here for. It is something for very new entrepreneurs. You have an idea but you don't have money. What do you do then? We'll cover the genesis of the scheme, what's the idea behind it, and how everybody can benefit from such a scheme.
Good morning, everyone. Vanakkam. I am Vijay Srinivasan here, Head of Enterprise Architecture and Technology from Zenser. But before we get into this fund scheme, I just want to take 2 minutes of your time to tell you 5 things. Okay, note பண்ணிக்கங்க. I think almost all of you know them, right? One is identify an idea, okay, which is a big problem and which is a repeatable problem. This is the first thing. You know why I wanted to communicate this? I mean, getting into this space is because this is the youth of India. You're going to take the ideas that come out from each one of you would be much youth. Your ideas are clean. You are not inhibited, biased like us. First point is, look at an idea, look at a problem, which is a big problem, which is a repeatable problem. B, understand your market. Your market needn't be a global market and all that. Any idea which is successful in a domestic market, trust me on this, will be successful in a global market. So, நீங்க வந்து US தான் போகணும், Europe தான் போகணும். India is the greatest market. You know why? Plenty of resources. Number 3, never get biased about all of your ideas have to be necessarily in AI, ML and all those things are all great. Of course, yes. But your idea has to truly make your society happy. Create value there. I can think of 5 different ideas, but I'm too old. Right? You guys have to take this tomorrow. Number 3 or number 4, whatever that is, right? Never be afraid of failure. It's very important that we fail. All great people have failed multiple times. Right? How many of you guys know about KFC? How many of you know? Okay. The KFC, the person who created this brand KFC failed multiple times. Okay? And then he became successful after the age of 50. If he can do it, you guys can do it 10 times better, I can tell you. Ensure that you are very passionate about this. This is a growing market, guys. This startup funding, program from Government of India is waiting for you guys. It's up to you to take it. Okay? Think about ideas all the time. There are a lot of problems around. To build a great idea. A great idea transforms itself into a great product and a great technology. And it transforms itself into a great society. Other than our partner, your product, your platform, your idea should transform your society. I wanted to tell all these things to you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. And actually, fortunately, this works out pretty well for me because it helps segue to next thing. Once you have thought of the idea, once you are confident enough that this is something the world needs, operations across the country use, they import them for crores of rupees. One of our startups had an idea to develop a Jugaadu prototype within the country at 1/5 the cost. But what they needed was a vehicle. They needed some heavy equipment to build their first prototype. And this sort of scheme helped those people out to make sure that they can go to the market. And now they're already supplying to their local municipal corporation today. Again, funding from angel investors comes once you have something to show them. Very few people, get some capital support just based on a pitch deck. You have to have some proof in the market. You need to show some prototype to make sure that this thing is working. And banks only provides loans to asset-backed applicants. We are working to solve this as well. But where we found the gap was you have a truly innovative idea, you have the credentials to build something on it, but you don't have that initial capital just to get you through that. And to that, we launched the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme to provide financial assistance to startups for proof of concept, prototype development, and market entry. These are the three areas that we are targeting. And our major objective is every innovative idea can come to the market. We'll see how the scheme is operationalized, how it works, and what are the guidelines that we follow in the scheme. Yes. So the scheme has been created with an outlay of 945 crores. Out of this, 900 crores is to be given out to around 3,000 startups. 45 crores is to be given out to our partners incubators for managing the funds to make sure that they have access to adequate resources to find the right startup to support. Over 4 years, this money will be given out, and how this model works is to make sure that incubators can identify and support startups so that there is no failure of ideas due to due to lack of capital. There is no problem because nobody is funding you just based on an idea. So you get to a stage where you can get angel investment, VC investment through these funds. So the scheme was again announced on National Startup Day in 2021. The aim was to support around 3,600 startups by partnering with around 300 incubators across the country. How the scheme is operationalized is we have partnered with incubators. Again, the ACIC Kalasingam Innovation Foundation is one of the incubators that we have partnered with. We provide funding to these incubators. Startups apply on our portal. They select which incubator they want to apply to. Incubators in turn look at the application, see the merit in the application, and decide what kind of funding and how much funding to provide to startups. So far, we've received more than 24,000 startup applications who requested funding to develop prototype, to do proof of concept. Around 2,000 of these startups have been approved for funding and they started receiving funds as well from incubators. We received over 270 applications from incubators who wanted to be a part of the scheme. Many of these incubators were investing in startups for the first time, which again helped them grow in terms of infrastructure and in terms of importance within their region. So far, 211 incubator applications have been selected as a part of the seed fund scheme. These incubators today actively take applications, assess applications, and provide funding to startups. So how this works is DPIT, which is a department under the Ministry of Commerce, they've constituted an Expert Advisory Committee (EAC). This committee involves people from DST, BIRAC, people from the industry, people from VC funds, who's who of every industry or nodal agency or ministry. The idea is to provide a comprehensive outlook on which incubators to support, what is going well with the scheme. They also monitor the performance of different incubators. This committee then selects incubator applications on which incubators are having adequate infrastructure and facilities to be supported, and the incubator look at the applications of startups to their own internal committees and select which startups can be supported via the seed fund scheme. So, in terms of how it is operationalized, we first launched call for applications for incubators who wanted to practice investing in startups, who wanted to support their startups in the growth stage. We received applications from such incubators. We had them reviewed by the EAC. The selected incubators are then allocated funds based on the potential and the available infrastructure and their team. And then their performance is also reviewed on a quarterly basis to ensure that the funds are being put to good use. How it works for startups is you don't have to approach every incubator individually. Again, there is a centralized application mechanism where you can see all the incubators that are a part of the scheme. You can select any 3 incubators you want to apply to, and then those incubators will be evaluating your application. Once any one of those 3 incubators selects your application, they will negotiate with you on what sort of funding instrument, what type of funds to provide to startups. And then we also review startups' performance through incubators. So all incubators are supposed to keep a track of what startups are doing with the funding that they have received. So few guidelines here on what the incubator gets and what the startups get. So every incubator in the scheme can be given a grant of up to 5 crores for funding startups, plus a 5% management fee to make sure that operations, looking at applications, organizing meetings can be taken care of. Startups can get a grant of up to 20 lakhs or a debt instrument of up to 50 lakhs at very good terms from incubators based on their needs. So if a startup comes up with just an idea and a plan to develop a prototype, grant can be allocated to them based on the merit of their idea. If a startup already has a prototype by an incubator, let's say in Gujarat, just your idea should have merit and the incubator should see value in it, and then there is no bar in what part of the country you are in, where the incubator is. Just to make sure that startups get adequate opportunity, we allow them to apply to 3 incubators with each application. And if any one of those 3 selects you, you can then negotiate with them for funding. So again, we talked about the Experts Advisory Committee. Just for knowledge here, these are few of the members. Again, we see people from DPIIT, people from Department of Science and Technology, people from Atal Innovation Mission, who's again working on developing incubator infrastructure across the country. We also have people from the industry, so people from venture capital funds, people from technology companies, people from IVCA, which is the Venture Capital Funds Association. So the idea is to make sure that incubator selection, who are our partners, is done from a committee which has a wide area of experience, and they can take a good decision on which incubators to support. So we have a very simple eligibility criteria for startups. Since this is a seed fund, you have to be very new. So any startup that takes recognition from the government and is less than 2 years old is eligible to apply to the scheme. We try to support startups that are using innovative technologies, innovations, and that should be scalable. That is the general guideline of the scheme, but again it depends on incubator to incubator, which industry, what type of startups they want to work with. Yes, one more simple thing is that the shareholding should be Indian, like at least 51% of your company partnership should be held with an Indian national to be eligible to participate in this. Yes, so I guess, again, I think from the incubator perspective, one thing that we're doing is if you get selected by any incubator, virtually or physically, funds are not the only thing you're getting. We work with AIM as well, we work with incubators to make sure that they have adequate infrastructure to support you in your journey of growth. So getting access to mentorship, getting access to further connects for funding, etc. is available at every incubator. That is part of the seed fund scheme. I guess that is it from my side. In case anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to take them up. If you want to apply, learn more about the scheme, again, the portal and the address is mentioned here and you can take it up. Thank you.